We're just 9 days away from the 2021 NFL Draft, and there are still so many unanswered questions about which players will go where, which teams are going to trade up, and which players and which teams might just not have the night go their way. Today, my mock draft 2.0 goes live. It is officially on NFL.com right now. Let's unveil it with the top 10. Put a lot of work into this, guys. Right. I'm proud of these. I stress accuracy, and I think I got some shockers in here. Let's go first with the first three quarterbacks. It's pretty much chalk to me with no big changes, despite Mac Jones being rumored to not being going to San Francisco by some others in the moment. I still think he is the pick. 4, Kyle Pitts. 5, Penei Sewell over Jamar Chase. And we get a first big trade, Jalen Waddle to the Cardinals, who trade up with Detroit to go get another wide receiver. Okay. But then the big one, I've got Justin Fields going to the Panthers. Even with Sam Darnold, I've got Justin Fields still going to the Panthers at 8. Then Trey Lance going 9. That's 5 quarterbacks.
Oh, 8 and 9 is wild, Peter.
Then I got Dallas taking Patrick Surtain, the second as the first defensive player. Then another big shocker here, 11. We want to go to the next slide. 11, the Giants take J.C. Horn over Devontae Smith and over Rashawn Slater. And Giants fans could be throwing their remotes right now saying, no. We've got Bradbury and Adoree Jackson. We are not taking a corner. J.C. Horn is skyrocketing up boards right now. Okay. Jalen Phillips out of Miami is the first pass rusher off the board. He goes to the Vikings. Eagles trade back as the Patriots trade up. They go offensive line, so do the Lions. Micah Parsons falls to 17, the Raiders. Perfect fit there. Dolphins go Tevin Jenkins, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma State. Let's see 19. Let's go to the next group here. That's where it gets interesting. Washington takes a running back, Travis Etienne. They take him over Najee Harris, and they take him over some other players available. The Bears go with the 4th wide receiver, get another weapon, Rashad Bateman. The Colts, the second pass rusher for me, Azeez Ojulari. We had him on the show last week. Awesome personality, great kid, and a fantastic high-rising prospect. The Steelers, with Najee Harris on the board, go corner. Yeah, Eric Stokes. The Jets go corner. Caleb Farley with the back stuff. Still goes in the first round. Then we go pass rusher. And then let's finish it up with 27 to 32.
Take us home.
Ravens, we just talked about them. I see them going pass rusher. Okay, you mentioned it. Judon and Ngakoue leave. They'll try to find another one. Wide receiver will address. And then the Saints, they go Kadarius Toney. Maybe one of my favorite prospects in this draft. He's got some curious stuff off the field, some questions. Saints say, come on aboard. Let's go and fix this. Let's figure it out. Sean Payton will be just happy to have a guy who can make some plays after the tackle. Packers go wide receiver, and then we go 3 defensive backs to end this thing. Woof. Let's see the quarterbacks and where they go again, just for the viewers at home. Here's how I see the top 5 and the only 5 in the first round. I don't have any others. They're all in the top 10. Some questionable places, how this all worked out, but this is how I see it. And then the top 10 picks one more time for you at home. Jalen Waddle, a trade up to get the Alabama wide receiver to Detroit with Arizona. Wow. But that is it. It is a...
Cardinals' offense is hilarious.
The Cardinals' offense is going to be silly, but I think they're all in, and they're all in this year on offense.
Run and gun.
There you go.
I love that. I love seeing that, of course. Okay, so this is ripe for the picking. We got to ask you some questions here.
Have at it.
So according to our NFL Network research, quarterbacks have not been selected 1, 2, and 3 in a row back-to-back like this since 1999. You have it this way in your mock draft 2.0. Mac Jones to the Niners. What's your thinking behind that?
The complete ceiling on Mac Jones is unknown. It's not unlimited, but we don't know what he could end up being. They're saying that the basement, the floor on him, is Kirk Cousins, and I think that is an appealing thing to know. And I know you're saying, well, I don't want a safe pick at 3. When you've got what the 49ers have in Trent Williams and Mike McGlinchey and Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and Juszczyk and a team that can win now, I think it is appealing. And you do have Jimmy Garoppolo. So to me, this is Garoppolo starts the first 8 games. Mac Jones gets his feet wet, and then let's pass the torch and let's go. He is a highly, highly intelligent player. He can learn the Shanahan offense, and I think as much of it's not a huge swing as some of the others, I think from what I'm feeling, Mac Jones will be the 49ers quarterback at 3 overall.
Speaking of one of those swings, we were talking about Justin Fields being that for the 49ers. You have him going to the Panthers with the 8th overall pick, despite them trading for Sam Darnold. That doesn't seem like a quarterback room that's a little too full.
Yeah, it does, and it would be a shock around the league, I think. And to be honest, I think Carolina might be a team that's looking to trade back right now. I'm hearing some things that they could be looking to pick up a lot more picks as they're still in rebuilding mode, and they like Darnold. Darnold's 23 years old. There's still plenty to win with Darnold. But if they had done the work and they liked Fields going into this draft before the Darnold trade, I don't see them ripping up their draft board because of Darnold. And why do I say that? Darnold's an inexpensive option. He provides optionality to them. Darnold is going to make $11 million over the next 2 years. That's even if they even want to pick up his fifth-year option. They don't even have to. Darnold to them was a second for next year, a fourth, and a sixth. This was not like they gave up a first-round pick for him. He's not making a lot of money, and he is a low-cost trade piece. If they liked Fields going into this thing, I don't think they suddenly say, oh, we got our quarterback of the future. Because remember, they were in on Stafford. They didn't get him. They were in on Deshaun Watson. Before that thing went haywire, they didn't get him. This wasn't like they were courting Darnold. Darnold they got for next to nothing, and they're paying him next to nothing.
They owe him nothing.
If they like Justin Fields, Scott Fitter is a first-year GM, Matt Rule's a second-year quarterback, let's get our guy. Justin Fields might be that guy.
Well, Peter, 2.0 is very interesting. Very well done. We love this stuff. When last we saw our hero in mock draft 1.0, you had the Patriots, who we're all watching this year, you had them going all the way up to the 4th pick to draft Justin Fields from Ohio State. Now you have re-engineered it, and you have them swapping with the Eagles at 12 to take the wide receiver Devontae Smith. Why the huge change from you?
I think there are 4 playmakers in this draft that are bona fide stars. The 4 playmakers are Kyle Pitts, and then Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. If Devontae Smith starts falling out of the top 10, and the quarterbacks are gone, I could see the Patriots saying, we don't plan on being up at 15 too often. We're not going to get a talent like this. Let's swap a couple picks. Let's move up a couple spots, not give up our whole entire draft next year. I think a second-round pick would be enough with Philly. I know Philly is looking to load up on picks, whether it be trading back from 12 or in other spots. I could see Belichick trading up, especially this year where they're being super active. But if there are no quarterbacks there in the teens, I could see him doing it for this wide receiver. Especially you connect the Nick Saban and the Belichick connection. This is a football player. Devontae Smith is going to be a super, super player in this league. If he's hanging around there at 12, I can see it happening.
Just picking this thing apart. This is amazing. Go to NFL.com/Schrager. Well, you know, I right away skip to the Bears. They take a wide receiver. They take Rashad Bateman, who we love here on the show. I love to see that. I think it's interesting. I think in your 1.0, you had Jamar Chase going to the Bengals.
Yes.
At 5, now you have Penei Sewell protect the quarterback. That's intriguing to me. You have Jamar Chase going to the Dolphins at 6. Very interesting. What else do we need to really look at that's sticking out to you here?
Yeah, I have the Giants going with J.C. Horn, the corner out of South Carolina, over Rashawn Slater, who is a star tackle, and Devontae Smith, who could be a #1 wide receiver in this league. And I think a lot of people would say they don't need that. They've got Bradbury and Adoree Jackson. I just think there are 2 star corners in this league, in this draft, Surtain and Horn, and they might even go even higher, both of them, because of the emphasis on finding that elite cornerback in this draft. Bradbury and Adoree Jackson are great, and they're fine, and they're going to be on the Giants for years to come, and it'll be all good. If you can pick up another corner that you think is a #1 corner, and he's sitting there at 11, I think the Giants would pounce on that, especially with his SEC background and all the coaches with the Giants who have been coaching in the SEC in the last couple of years. The other big one here, Jalen Phillips is my first pass rusher off the board. You don't see that in a lot of mock drafts. He's a name to watch. He could go as high as top 10. He is skyrocketing up boards after an incredible pro day and a really, really solid career after transferring from UCLA, coming over to Miami. So this is mock draft 2.0. Have at it. I really enjoy it. So if you're on Twitter and you're outraged or whatever it is, I like this stuff. I encourage the engagement, and if you're a GM and you want to text me and yell at me or say that I did something wrong, I like that too. That helps me. That's great.
So you have Surtain as the first defensive player taken, and he goes 10 to the Cowboys. 9 straight offensive players. And you, on your birthday, give everybody the gift of a mock draft.
Okay, being able to talk about it is the true birthday gift.
It's incredible.
You know, I'm a little disappointed Davis Mills is not going to the Bucs in your second draft. Is this way it's just you admitting that that is a made-up player that you created?
That is not a real player. I've been talking about Davis Mills for 3 weeks. He is not a real player.
Good job, Peter.
That was just my little. He's a real player. He will be drafted, just probably not in the first round.
Is this the weirdest year ever for you?
Yes.
Weirdest year.
Yeah, teams' boards are all over the place this year. So.
All right, love it. And if
some darts, Kay.
/Schrager, go see who your team chose on his mock draft and light him up on Twitter, everybody. The 2021 NFL Draft